Thanks again, Mark.
I'll just be 2 minutes here. Madam Chair, I just wanted to discuss the Mission District vacancy. I know we haven't had any discussion since Fred's left us last week, but I know that there's process and procedures in place for that. And I know one of them was to declare the seat vacant. So I would make the motion to declare the Mission District seat vacant and get it ready for advertising.
I don't think it'd be advertised because that seat went to the at-large position, right?
The at-large went for next cycle, but until December, it's still the mission. It's still the mission seat.
Right. You're just we want to make a motion to declare it vacant.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, we got a motion by Lynn, a second by Martin. All those in favor?
Clarification, it doesn't mean anything else, like advertise or anything, right? Do we know that?
What's the question?
The question is, when we deem it vacant, does that invoke anything else to happen, the next steps, or is it just deemed
No,
vacant?
it's just declaring it vacant.
Okay, I'm in favor.
So got a motion by Lynn, second by Martin. All those in favor? Looks like unanimous. Go ahead, Carol.
The thing is that I didn't get to raise my hand this morning to let you know that I had a couple of issues. And yeah, and so I just want clarification on the one issue is the rodeo. And my understanding from Jen is that they have put in an application for a donation. So that means that we're not going to consider any further contribution towards the rodeo. I was hoping that we could at least encourage the resort to fund it properly if they're going to have it. They're making money. They need to make sure they take care of the issues, unless if they're not going to, call it off. We don't need no black eye because it's not funded properly.
Well, I guess I'm confused because are we talking the INFR
Yes.
up in? Okay. Yeah. My understanding is they went out and got different donations and funding. So I didn't know that they had came in and requested anything from us.
Well, Len's the one that initially brought it up and it was talked about in here. And I think at one point they said, well, there's a donation policy. We need to follow that. And then somebody else says, I don't think we should be given a donation. I think they should just fund it. They're making good money. And so I'm just trying to get clarification on, all I want to say is I want it to be done right. I don't want a big black eye on Monday morning because things weren't set up. They're expecting a lot of Indian rodeoers. I mean, not rodeoers, but the people who contestants. And they have to have the stock and the cattle and all, everything. And if they don't, it's just going to make us look bad. And I just don't want it to happen that way. I think if we're not going to fund it properly, don't do it.
Do we know if they've, Jen, do we know if they've submitted their donation request?
Yes.
They have?
But that's $2,000. I know what they've raised to the point, we're talking to Sheila last week, was $2,500. No, $25,000. But I don't think that's nearly enough, but I just want to encourage the board at SKGT or whatever it is, SK Gaming, to fund it properly. Make sure it's done. The other question is the boat. I'm not happy, but I don't even know if I have the story right on what happened with the shadow. I think we're owed some kind of a response on what took place there. And if what I heard happened, they need to get that boat back and put it up for sale properly if they're gonna sell it. We don't give things away like that. And if you're gonna give it away, you give it away to a tribal member. I mean, they didn't give it away, but certainly the amount that they sold it for is not appropriate in my mind. And that's just, if the membership finds out about that, I think they're gonna be up in air, even though they're on, we're on live. But I think they have a right to know.
Well, and I think that we should ask Jen to get a hold of the board, and the board should give us a report on that.
Yeah, I mean,
That-
maybe the information I got, Madam Chair, is inaccurate, and I'll be happy if it is, but if it's not good.
So Jen, could you get a hold of the S&K Gaming Board and ask for a report?
And also, I'm reaching out to the Far West because they said that the captain needs to have some kind of special credentials. Well, I want to see what the special credentials are on the Far West, that they're using that boat up in Lakeside to, go around the lake and do whatever. What kind of credentials does that captain have? So we are maybe hopefully on board. And then last week I did attend a meeting at the Lake County Courthouse on historical trauma. I really would like to hopefully encourage the council or to maybe have a present, you guys probably all know, but I tell you, it impacted me hugely on what I heard. And then also when Martin's sister had that thing at the Catholic Church on a vigil on the boarding school children, it's just has impacted me. Something is unbelievable. And it was unbelievable the impact it had on the people in the courtroom at Lake County. So I think the story needs to be told. There's so much intergenerational trauma that until you're explained about it, you don't even know what it is. I mean, I wonder why I'm so flighty all the time. It's has to do a lot with that, what we've went through as a people and our ancestors have went through, and now just, we're living in a whole different new world. And I just think it would be a good presentation to have at least out on our video monitors or something, something about historical trauma, because it could be a real healing for people to understand and get to know what's going on with them. So anyway, I'll get off my soapbox. I think that's all I had, Madam Chair. Thank you. Oh, no, I had one more.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. And I also wrote you guys all a memo. Did you get that on this LEAP building down here? I emailed it. I keep emailing it to tribal council, and then the address is actually tribal 2 council. Is that not right? Ah, no wonder you didn't get it. I thought you guys were all ignoring me because I'm such of a flighty person. So I just thought, okay, well, fine. You guys don't want to even consider it, fine. But no, I'll send it again, Madam Chair. Thank you. I'm done.
Okay, thank you. And Jen, at the same time, speaking of that donation, maybe the board can update us on what has been contributed to that INFR to date, their donations and how many contestants they're expecting, and so that we can try to do a good job on it. Okay, thank you, Carol. Ellie?
I wonder if Carol, the folks who did the presentation on the historic trauma would be willing to come here to present it. We could open it up to staff to come here and listen and then have it Facebook.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. It is my niece, Turquoise Devereaux. She's going to school at the University of Phoenix, and she's going for her doctorate. So, yeah, thank you. I think that would be a really a good idea to to share. I think she's still here. Yeah. Everybody in the room was filled, and they were so impressed. And the tribal members, it just kind of floored them. Like one guy stood up and said, "I'm glad to be a tribal member. Now I know what's going on." It's just like it just lifted so much pain and anger off of all of us. You know, even the attorneys in the room that work at Lake County were a part of the whole thing. But thank you, Matt.
Martin?
Thank you, Madam Chair. And I guess a couple things to Carol's points. The event that happened down at the church, I actually did some research because I knew I was going to speak there, and I found out some things. And I think I plan on doing it this week, but I think within the next week or so, I'm going to try to bring a resolution in to form a working committee to fully look into that cemetery specifically. I know there's ground penetrating radar that was done by a college student a few years ago, but that was never really brought back to the tribes to look at. And then it also wasn't cross-referenced with the records that they have at the church, and some of those records have now been sent to either Gonzaga, and those have been now sent to St. Louis. And so the records for this particular place are kind of scattered throughout. So it's going to take a little bit of, a little work, some resources probably to help do that. But I feel like we need to put that behind us as quickly as possible. I know that, we're one school in many that I'm sure that there are things that went on there that we just need to address. And this historical trauma, it really is an eye opener. It really is. I did a workshop two years ago, and it was, like Carol said, it's really powerful, and it really makes you realize how much disruption happened to our core communities and values and everything. It's amazing that we're still surviving as well as we are. And it truly is. And so it's something that, I'll try to figure out the workshop. They came in and they did a really good job on talking about this and how it affected, just the family itself, and how that has continued to affect us really, I think all at some level. And so yeah, thanks for bringing that up, Carol.
Go ahead, Mike.
Phil Lane Jr. Did a video up in Alkali Lake good number of years ago, where he actually enlisted the help of a video producer out of Minnesota, I believe it was. And they got into the stories, and we're looking at all that happened to these people. And this video producer all of a sudden realized the dysfunction that he had felt throughout his life in Minnesota related to all these stories, and had no idea the connections back to the schools. And so healing the hurt and healing the heart, amazing video. Well worth getting into this.
Yeah, we might check into that, like you said, open it up. Yeah. Okay, well, I think that's today's agenda. I haven't heard of anything else. Motion to adjourn by Lynn. All right, thanks, everybody. A great day.